How have you approached this week in between Big 12 games?
Um, recruiting, recruiting. A lot of film watching. Obviously, got a little more time this week to prepare for K-State than you normally have for a conference game. So, watch a lot of film, and that's it. I mean,
How beneficial is this week in between games?
I think it's beneficial for this team, different than some others, just because we've been through so much the last couple of weeks to kind of have a time to step away from the craziness, kind of be a normal student again. And we've had 3 games now to kind of start figure out who we're going to be for the rest of the year, and give us all an opportunity to kind of feel good about that and know what we're doing moving forward.
It's January 31st. You got a big dinner planned for tonight?
No, my wife's really good about making sure that tonight I get nice and stuffed. So January 31st and March 1st are like her favorite 2 days on the calendar.
You let her handle all of the meal, or do you have requests?
No, I don't make any requests, man. Beggars can't be choosy. I'm going into hibernation kind of for the next month, so I'll take what I can get.
At the start of Big 12 play, you said that you predicted Kansas State to win the conference. Do you still feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously lost their first 2 games, and until this past Saturday had played as well as anybody in our league. League's tough, man. It's hard. It's hard to figure out who's going to separate themselves. But I do think, in terms of completeness, they've got everything that you look for. They can score inside. They're really, really good defensively, and they have multiple guys who can hurt you on any given night. So they present different challenges than some of the other teams. But I think they'll be right in the race right at the end.
Of course, we just talked to Tanner, and he talked about how it's kind of mutual. He wanted to join the team, and of course, then you did too. What was that conversation with him like?
Tanner's an interesting story because he actually came here to try his hand at football. Didn't work out for whatever reason. Came over here, and I think he wanted to try his hand at basketball, but never really committed himself to doing it. And it's just kind of amazing how sometimes timing is, patience and timing of things work out. But we're really thankful that he's decided to give up some of his, probably less strenuous responsibilities, and now it's going to give me a chance to yell at him a little bit more when he doesn't do something right in practice, as opposed to just kind of looking the other way. But he's a joy to be around. He really cares about this program and the guys on the team. He cares about our staff, and we care about him just as much, and we're glad to have him here.
Thomas, go ahead.
It's probably the same question. You can go ahead.
Thomas mentioned the guys were excited because he took a charge from Isaac. I think yesterday he said, has he really kind of gone all in since he's?
Yeah, I mean, and I tell those guys all the time, if you're going to do this, then I expect you to do it the same way I expect Lindy Waters or Cam McGriff or Thomas Azagua to do it. I'm going to coach you the same way I coach them, and if you earn the right to play, you're going to have an opportunity to do what you do in practice. So yeah, he's been fully committed to it. He did take a charge. I don't know if he's made a basket yet, so that may be the next hurdle for him. But it's interesting to watch him now because obviously the managers have kind of a different bond with each other, and to see him sometimes I sit around for a few minutes after practice to watch the managers rebounding for him. Now is I get the chuckle out of that. It's a pretty cool story.
He said sometimes you'll want something from a manager, and it still doesn't go through his head that I'm the one who gets it. Is it the same way for you? Are there times that you forget that he's?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been long enough now for me to kind of even think about it. It's been so much going on. It's been practice, quite honestly, been much shorter, much less physically demanding, a lot more mental preparation. So I don't think I've come up on that. I try not to be very needy during practice to try to make sure I'm as prepared as I need to be, but I can see how that could happen.
You mentioned shorter practices. Obviously, Thomas's minutes have really peaked up this year compared to the last 2. How much of a benefit from his summer diet and all the work he put in have you seen over the course of this season, given his workload?
Yeah, I mean, that's why you prepare to be your best. That's why you try to get in the best shape you can before the season starts, because it's hard to make those adjustments in the middle of the year. So I think it's been a great benefit to him because not only is he playing more, he's still being able to be effective. You saw the last couple of years, this time of year's minutes were waning, partly because he wasn't being nearly as effective. He's being more conscious defensively and still being able to find his way offensively as well. So I think the discipline he showed himself that he could do throughout the summer in terms of committing to changing his body was something that is starting to show up on the court.
Do you feel like this team has been able to catch their breath now so far since everything has happened?
I think so. I mean, it's been long enough. You know, people have talked about it enough. You know, at no point did I ever tell those guys that the other teams in our league would feel bad for us. I mean, people were excited. There's enough challenges trying to get to the top of this thing. So as many people that have issues behind the scenes, the better. So, but it's been good. It's been good for us to have this week to kind of, like I said, say, all right, here's what we are. We've got 3 games, and we've got some tangible evidence to show what we're capable of doing. And we've been in every one of these games, only won one, but it shows that this team's going to continue to be really competitive moving forward.
Mike, the news came out of New York yesterday. Lamont is entering a guilty plea, which I think kind of resolves the court aspect of his case. How much do you follow it, and I guess kind of think about the implications here, just in terms of any potential reviews that come afterward?
Yeah, I mean, I follow it because it's important to know kind of that people know, you know, where we are, and obviously, like I said from the very beginning, it's an unfortunate situation. I still believe in my core that Lamont's a good person and caught up in a tough situation, and I still continue to pray for him and his family. And you know, as it relates to our program, you know, we've moved forward. We've dealt with what we needed to. We've been as cooperative as we needed to be, and we'll see what happens next.
What was your reaction to that guilty plea?
I didn't really have one, to be honest. You know, it's kind of, I guess, if you've paid attention, it's not surprising, I wouldn't say. But I don't know enough about what's going on. Obviously, I haven't had any conversations with any of the people involved on that side of things to know kind of what goes into that decision.
It can be tough sometimes for a big at the top of a 1-3-1. Did you know Cam was going to be as successful as he was there?
You know, it's a defense that we've had and probably didn't think we'd use as early as kind of started using that necessity more so. So I've seen him play it before, so I wasn't surprised. I know he's capable, and he's actually got a little bit of football background. So the top of a 1-3-1 makes you have to be kind of a linebacker safety as opposed to playing the area, making reads and that sort of thing. So I know his athletic instincts would be a good thing for us to have him up there.
And having Isaac at the back, it's obviously beneficial to have a guard who can run from corner to corner, but whenever you see him jump up and deny an oop attempt, that's got to be even better, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, because people will try to attack you that way. Actually, Oklahoma got a dunk on us in our 1-3-1, and I think he was back there. Just again, it shows just reps. 2-3 days later, he makes a better play in a similar situation, having done it for more time. So I think it's a defense that's been effective for us. It's probably been our most effective or efficient defense in these 3 games that we played with this unit. We need to continue to have it evolve.
You mentioned after the South Carolina game, maybe you're learning that your players are capable of even more than you maybe thought until they were put in this situation. How much do you think you and your staff are kind of evolving, having to play different defenses and make these adjustments?
Yeah, it's been really good for me. At the end of the season, I'll have a lot to kind of review and figure out exactly what we're capable of moving forward. But it shows that the kids are really resilient. We always think depth's really important, and I do think it is to get through a season. But if you look around, most people are playing 8 guys, maybe some 7. And so that's what you get. Now, they have options. That's the difference. If someone gets in foul trouble, or if there's an injury or something like that, there's someone else to put in, and we didn't have that for a couple of games. But sometimes the depth this time of year is a little overrated. Early on, because you're trying to figure out who you are, it's more important. But for our staff, it's been really good, so we can know what these guys are capable of. Again, we assume that this group of guys will be here for another year together, and it gives us a pretty good feel moving forward.
I know you and your background has been a big, aggressive man-to-man defense. Are you learning more value in the zone through this process?
Yeah. It's interesting. I studied coaches all my life, and obviously grew up in the Northeast. Knew John Chaney was a big proponent of his own, and Boeheim, I don't know if he's ever coached a possession of man-to-man defense in his life, and 2 of the greatest coaches ever. So certainly know that it's an effective way to coach and have success. I just never was exposed to it myself Either by the coaches I played for or worked for, none of them were ever really hard set on coaching zone. So, but sometimes when you're forced into situations, you have an opportunity to learn, and for learning, you grow.